Good morning, everyone. I am so happy to see you again. I have some friends who are coming around at about 4 o'clock today, so I thought it would be fun to serve afternoon tea. We can make some assorted tea sandwiches, plus I want to bake off some of these scones that you and I made together a few weeks ago and that we froze unbaked. And for a special dessert, we are going to make some miniature fruit tarts entirely from scratch. And the first thing we are going to do is make the dough for the fruit tarts. I need a bowl. This one will do the trick. Now, I can post the recipe that I'm using for this tart shell dough in the description below. Now, if you hear some noise outside, that is our contractor who is rebuilding our basement steps. There's the noise right there. He's sawing wood. I need some butter. This is softened butter. And some sugar. The nice thing about this recipe is that you do not need any special equipment. No food processor, no electric beaters. You can do everything in a bowl and with a spatula. Then I need to mix in the yolk of 1 large egg, a splash of vanilla, and flour. I'm going to form this dough into a ball. Then we can wrap this dough in cling film. Flatten it into a disc. Wrap it up. And we can pop this into the refrigerator to chill for about 30 minutes. And while the dough is chilling, I want to show you the little miniature tart shells or tart pans that I'm using. These have a removable bottom. And they are 3.5 inches in diameter. And the dough we made should be just enough to cover these 4 little pans. And while we wait on the dough, we can get started on the sandwich fillings. I should mention that when you do afternoon tea, you are really not required to make every single item from scratch. For instance, today, I'm going to make some ham salad sandwiches. I bought the ham salad at my supermarket's deli. I also bought some egg salad at the market's deli. And the first sandwich we're going to make is smoked salmon with herb butter. And for the herb butter, I'm going to use my mixer here. Going to return these to the refrigerator and then fetch my herbs. For the herb butter, I need some dill, some chives, and a scallion. I'm going to use both the white and the green from the scallion. And I'm chopping the scallion fairly finely because nobody wants to bite into a big piece of scallion, also known as green onion. And then chives. These two I want to finely chop. And dill. And since we are chopping here, I also want to chop up or dice this red onion because we can add it to the, what do I want to add this to? The chicken salad. Here's my butter, which is softened. And I want to beat the butter just to get it to a creamy stage. Then we can add in the scallion, some of the chives, not all of them, because I'm going to reserve some of them for one of the sandwich fillings, and the dill. And just mix. Oh, forgot two things. Salt and some grinds of black pepper. And our herb butter is made. And I think this will go very well with the smoked salmon. In fact, I saw Ina Garten make something similar. So smoked salmon with herb butter is not unique to me. And we can transfer this to a little bowl. So my herb butter is made. And now we can move on to the other sandwich fillings, which I'm going to doctor up just a little. Let me reiterate, there is absolutely nothing wrong with using some store-bought ingredients when you do afternoon tea. It's more about, well, afternoon tea is more about the people and the atmosphere than it is about showing off what a wonderful cook you might be. And for the chicken salad, I'm adding some of this diced red onion. May not need all of it. I also want to add some black pepper to this egg salad. Give it a little taste. Perfect. Fresh spoon because I want to add some of these chives to the egg salad. I also want to put my ham salad in a little bowl. Going to have a little taste of this ham salad just to make sure it doesn't need anything. Perfect, just the way it is. I'm going to cover my egg salad and my ham salad and then pop them into the refrigerator until we need them. My herb butter can sit out at room temperature. And now our tart dough has chilled. And I'm just going to warm it up a little in my hands to make it more malleable. There is no need to roll out this dough. I simply break off a piece, put it in my little tart pan, and press it to form the tart shell. And you want to be sure to press it against the sides of the tart pan so it forms the same contour of the pan. I should really set this dough on a plate. And there we have it. All I need to do is take a knife to remove the overhang. Yeah, I use my thumbs to push the dough against the sides of the tart pan. This goes very quickly once you have the hang of it. Scrape off the excess dough. To stop the bottom of the tart from puffing in the oven, I'm docking it with the tines of a fork. I'm going to pop these into the freezer for about 10 minutes while I preheat the oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit or 180 degrees Celsius. Freezing will ensure that the pastry shells hold their shape. I'm going to fill my fruit tarts with pastry cream, so I need my electric beaters. So I have all my ingredients ready here. And first thing we are going to do is measure out a combination of milk and heavy cream. So I need about 3/4 cup of milk and 1/4 cup of heavy cream. The heavy cream will give this pastry cream an extra rich character. Put this in a saucepan, and I'm going to bring this just to a simmer on top of the stove. I will link the recipe I'm following for this pastry cream in the description below. So while the milk and cream are coming to a simmer, I'm going to put 2 egg yolks in a large bowl, along with 2 tablespoons of sugar. Look at the lid on this thing. It's high time I find a better container for my sugar. I also need 2 tablespoons of cornstarch, which will give the pastry cream a very silky character. Rich and silky is this pastry cream. Actually, I don't even need my electric beaters just yet. I can mix all of this with a handheld whisk. Well, this recipe calls for electric beaters, but we may not need them after all. You might be able to do this pastry cream with a bowl and a whisk alone. We have just come to a simmer, so now I need to incorporate this milk and cream mixture bit by bit while whisking constantly so I don't scramble the eggs. Now I'm going to pour this mixture back into the pot and bring it to the stove top and whisk constantly over medium-low heat until the sauce becomes thick. In true Kevin Lee Jacobs fashion, I left out my vanilla extract, just a splash. I want to use my smaller whisk here, and I can already tell this mixture is starting to thicken up. Vanilla pastry cream always seems like a very difficult thing to make, but it's actually a very simple sauce. The trick is to temper the eggs so they do not scramble. I need to scoop this beautiful cream into a bowl. I'm tempted to eat this cream with a spoon right now. And then, to stop the cream from forming a film, we need to cover it with cling film. And the cling film needs to actually contact the cream. And we need to let this chill completely. That will take about 2 hours. I'm going to pop this into the fridge. And while the pastry cream is chilling, we can bake off our tarts. That will take about 20 minutes. I said bake off our tarts. I meant bake off our tart shells. While the tart shells are baking, I wanted to tell you that my friends and I loved every component of this afternoon tea. We enjoyed our scones, finger sandwiches, and miniature fruit tarts in the garden. These look terrific. and they were so simple to make. Now, I do need to let these cool before we can unmold them. In the meantime, I'm going to increase my oven temperature to 375 degrees Fahrenheit or 190 degrees Celsius, and then we can bake off the scones. So these are the scones that you and I made together, and we froze them without baking them first. We flash froze them, and then I put them in a Ziploc bag. I do want to brush the tops with some beaten egg. The egg will help these scones to brown in the oven. And by the way, I use the Scottish pronunciation, scone. Although you can certainly say scone if you wish. And these go into the preheated oven until they puff and the tops brown. That will take about 20 minutes since they are frozen. And here are the scones, all baked and brown. I'm going to let these cool. And I'm quite certain that these tart shells are cool enough to unmold, so we can do that now. You'll notice I did not grease these little tart pans. There's so much butter in these tart shells, they won't stick. Still waiting for the pastry cream to become cool enough to use it. And while we wait for that to happen, we can make a quick trip to the local flower store. I think it will be nice to have a flower arrangement on the tea table. And here are the flowers we bought. I'm going with a pink, yellow, pale blue, and white theme. Floral preservative. Now, it's actually a sunny day outside. It's a little on the chilly side though, but if it warms up a little more, we may be able to enjoy our afternoon tea in the herb garden. I think that would be very nice. I think I want a few stems from my upright yews. So I rely on greens to act as a sort of a grid to hold the florist flowers in place. See, now this snapdragon stands right where I want it to. Yellow carnation. Blue delphinium, one of my favorite flowers. pink chrysanthemum. And daisies. I think this looks respectable. And we can put this over here while I clean up. And then we can get started assembling the tea sandwiches. I think we will start with the smoked salmon sandwiches. So I have some brown bread here, and I do want to use my rolling pin to thin the bread out somewhat. A little herb butter for each slice. I think we will only make 2 of these smoked salmon sandwiches because it's only 3 of us for afternoon tea. And these sandwiches will be cut into smaller pieces. But any leftover herb butter will certainly not go to waste. I can actually use this when I make an omelet tomorrow morning. You can always add lemon zest or lemon juice to your herb butter. I forgot to do that. Cut off the crust. These trimmings will not go to waste. I enjoy them for a midnight snack. You can cut this sandwich into triangles. Set these on a platter, pointed tip up, and my other sandwiches will go in between. Next up, ham salad on white bread. And I need to butter each slice of this white bread because the butter will act as a seal. In other words, it will stop the bread from becoming soggy. So you don't need a lot of butter for the bread, just enough to create a barrier between the filling and the bread. I think it's always nice to have baby lettuce leaves with ham salad. Now you might wonder why we remove the crust when we make afternoon tea sandwiches. Well, that's what makes these sandwiches tea sandwiches. The crust is removed. Otherwise, you can fill the sandwiches with anything you desire. And I think I will cut these sandwiches into fingers or rectangles. We're going to need a bigger tray, or platter in this case, for the sandwiches. Because I still have to do the chicken salad, or the egg salad rather. I think I'm going to eat this ham and spinach sandwich right now. And for the egg salad sandwiches, I want to use this dark whole wheat. Once again, a little butter to seal. I think maybe if I cut these egg salad sandwiches into circles, we can fit them on this smaller rectangular tray. And in the comments, let me know if you ever host friends for afternoon tea. I think it's a lot of fun to do. And honestly, it's not that much work. And once again, you do not have to make everything from scratch. For a touch of glamour, I decided to tie a chive stem around each ham sandwich. I think I will have to arrange these sandwiches on my round board here. Ooh. All right, so I think these sandwiches are working out very well on this round wooden board, but I think we can gild these egg salad sandwiches by placing a round of English cucumber on top of each one. Trying to do very thin slices. I need toothpicks. I think this makes a very attractive presentation. Now we have to pipe our pastry cream into our tart shells and slice up some fruit. I want to throw a damp towel over these sandwiches just to keep them moist. And then here's my pastry cream and my piping bag with a round tip. I'm using the back of a slightly dampened spoon to smooth out the pastry cream. Let me fetch the fruit. So I have kiwi, blueberries, and strawberries. So we can do half of one of the kiwi rounds, half of a strawberry, and then add a blueberry. Maybe we will add 3 blueberries. I think that looks right. I've decided that we should glaze the strawberry and the kiwi with a honey glaze. So I need some honey and just a tiny amount of water. And then I'm going to heat this in the microwave. That was 15 seconds in the microwave. Well, I think that little touch of honey glaze transformed these amateur tarts into professional tarts. Kind of. I want to put the tarts on this little cake stand. This was a gift from a viewer named Lorraine Landisi. She sent this 1920s cake stand plus these beautiful napkins that are the right color because I love blue. And we are going to use them today for afternoon tea. So thank you very much, Lorraine. I also want to thank everyone who has sent me a card or a letter. I really appreciate hearing from you. You don't have to send me cards and letters. You can post a comment on the YouTube channel here, but it's always fun to receive mail from you. And we can put the scones on this Enoch Woods blue and white platter. I have creme fraiche instead of clotted cream, strawberry jam, scones. There's only 3 of us, but these scones are rather small, so I think they will work out fine. And a spoon for the strawberry jam. And by the way, this is the jam that you and I made together last June, when local strawberries were at the height of their perfection. I've already warmed my teapot, and I think this black chai tea that I buy from Tierra Farm will go very, very well with our scones and sandwiches and fruit tarts. And while the tea is steeping, we can head outside to set the table. I need to ditch this apron and put on a different shirt. While I wait for my friends Tom and Jared to walk through the gate, I just wanted to thank you for hanging out with me today while we put together this very simple but very delicious afternoon tea. I hope you feel inspired to host your own tea gathering, and if you're not into tea, you can always swap it out for either champagne or Prosecco. If you learned any tips or tricks from today's video, then I'd really appreciate if you would tap the like button and also subscribe. Our next video will air on Friday, and I can't wait to see you again. Until then, please treat yourself very, very well. Bye for now, friends.